Hello, Test Pilot Monkey here, and today we're going to be playing another BBC Micro game, as you probably could have guessed right here. And this was a type-in game from the Micro User. Now, I don't have that issue of the Micro User, so I didn't type it out all myself, but there was a taped image that I found on the Stairway to Hell site that had the game on it. So I've just loaded that in here, and you have to do a bit of fiddling around with some other stuff and make sure that the tape head is at the right place on your tape control here. So then you load Stella, and the tape speed is a little bit speeded up from what it usually would be on in real life. We don't want too much of the authentic experience, but just enough. And it beeps. And then what we've got to do is just take a look at the listing for line 24. It seems to want to start it off on screen 15. I don't know if this was a problem in the transfer to the Stairway to Hell archives, or whether it was just like this on the disc to begin with. But no, dot 15, screen 1. Start us off on screen 1, please. So if we type in run now, it'll load up the game, and got some nice little fancy effects happening. You can get more fancy effects these days, but this was fancy enough for the time. So, Stellar Rescue. Try and land your craft on the small pad on the screen, avoiding the sides. Simple enough. So, we've got some keys. You don't have to worry about that. Skill level 1, because I don't think I'm that good, and I think 1's the worst. Yeah, I'm not sure on the tune there. But screen 1. So, we've got our bar charging up, that's our fuel, and now we've got our little lander. You may or may not be able to see it because it's flicking like crazy. So what I'm going to do is steady myself both horizontally and vertically to get onto this pad, and you've got to land properly on this pad and gently, and there we go. Ow, my ears. Right, so screen 2. What can they throw at us now? An overhang. Well, that looks like fun, doesn't it? Now, let's wind our way around that. Being careful, of course, not to crash into it. And being careful not to start going upwards as well, though we do want to be careful not to go downwards too fast. And gently, ever so gently, and ever so accurately as well, make sure. Land on the pad. Oof. It's a bit of a rough landing, but we made it. So, screen 3, what are they going to throw at us now? A chimney. Strangest looking chimney I ever saw. In fact, it looks rather like a demonic chimney, wouldn't you say? Some evil red horns sticking up like that, but never mind, let's just go down between them and land on the little pad here. And we've got ourselves lined up fairly well here. Ooh, no, too much. Then, of course, too little is a problem as well. So, screen 4. Is it going to get harder? Double overhang! Of course it's going to get harder. What do you expect? So, I think I can still do this. There looks like there's enough room in there for me, and I haven't been doing too badly. So if we just gently maneuver ourselves down, and yeah, turning around is a bit awkward if you're going too fast. And of course we have plenty of fuel left here, not even halfway down. And I shouldn't be paying attention to the fuel bar when I'm getting so close to the pad here. Now, gently, 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 gently. Ooh. A little dangerous on the end there, but we didn't lose our landing legs. Next level! We get Devil's Pit, which looks less demonic than the chimney, but still might be a a little trickier than that level. And we're going down's the easy part. And really, going up is pretty easy too, but it does use quite a lot of fuel, I think. And yes, be careful not to overdo it, else we might smack into the ceiling there. Slowly, slowly, gently, gently, ever so nicely. Ow, onto the pad. Whew. Screen 6. Ooh, round the bend. I think this is actually the one that's on the cover of the micro user. They didn't actually use a screenshot of this because they didn't use screenshots of games back then to put on the covers because they looked like this. They had an artist rendition of this level on the cover. And needless to say, it looked better than just red and triangular. Now gently over the little hook here. And nicely down, I'm saying, thank you very much, onto, and not past, the pad. There we go. All going surprisingly well so far, which has me worried. Let's see what we can do now. On, whoa, potholing. Now this looks dangerous. Not only do we have a slight incline at the start, so we've got to make sure not to go too low, we've also got a very tight cave here. Ooh, and slow, slow. Oh yes, I think maybe this is going to be my first death on camera here. Oh, slow. Gently, gently, ever so gently down into the hole. Just, oh yes, and we've got a turn here as well. Just softly, softly. Be a nice lander and don't crash into the evil red walls. Won't you be a dear and do that for us? And surprisingly, I should not have had the hubris. Because it all went bottoms up. And not in a good way. Right, now. Let's take it gently and not get too full of ourselves this time. Very nice. And turn. Don't forget the turning. Turning's very useful. And don't forget not to go too high and not too low. See, we nearly had it last time. All we did is just lose a little bit of focus and it all went completely wrong. But gently, 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 sweetly, sweetly around the corner. Nice, nice, nice. Listen to me, you're supposed to be doing what I tell you, not what you want to do. The problem with games, they always tend to do what they want to do and not what you want them to do. Even though you may be screaming at them to do something different. No, they always just follow their programming and just do whatever the heck they want. Whew. Thought I was a goner near the end there. Anyway, screen 8. What do we have? Well, this doesn't look too bad. Surely. I mean, I suppose last time we were just descending ever so much. And now we are going in a straight line. But here, we've done this part before. And it was fairly easy, he says, getting around the tricky part. Or he says after getting around the tricky part, just to make sure he didn't look like a fool. There we go. Onto the pad. And on to the next level. And we get screen 9. And it is... It is, ooh, a tight squeeze. And some rather useless area. Because I'm not going to go down there. Why would I want to go down there? I mean, if this was the type of game which had collectibles, I might need to go over there before reaching the pad. However, this is not such a game. This is a game where I just have to land a little, well, Space Invader looking spaceship actually, onto a little yellow pad. Very gently and not roughly. Thank you very much. Thank you to who? The world, the game, my fingers for cooperating. Right, next screen, I think it's screen 10. Didn't really pay attention. This looks great. This looks fantastic. It'll use all my abilities that I've got, which I do have, which I should have, which I most definitely need to have if I'm going to actually be completing this level. Hopefully this shall be the case. Am I getting too close? Don't like the look of it. Don't like the look of it one tiny bit. Fuel running a little low. Well, compared to what we have had in the past. And no! Tricky part. Just ever so gently, ever so nicely, ever so softly over that part. But we can make it all the way to the end. And do not look ahead, look at where your craft is. That is the most important part here. And thankfully, this game isn't more complicated than this, because it certainly could get like that. Because if you imagine, they might have had moving parts if it wasn't too taxing. But as you can see here, it was a little taxing. Just having one moving part on the screen. No, more, less, more, kind of the same. And we've got past that part, and we're not going to let things get out of control here. Thank you very much. We're all just going to take these curves very, very calmly and very, very softly and not crash into the horrible wall. And wow, the fuel situation is looking a bit narrow. Screen 11. Screen 11. What can they throw at us now? How? That's kind of what I was thinking. Nightmare. Nightmare is what I was thinking. Or something similar to that. I mean, I'm sure if I had to describe what I'd seen then, it would have actually involved, or possibly been, just completely the word nightmare. Oh dear. Let's take this just a little bit gently and not let our little spaceship get too much out of control here, because that would be a catastrophe, and we don't want catastrophes here. We want a spaceship on a little yellow pad, and we want it in one piece. And I'm pretty pretty sure we can achieve such things. Thank you very much. So after that nightmare, we wake up. And it's a bright new day, and we're faced with somebody's initials. Rather fourth wall breaking. However, I'm not really immersed in the plot of the game here. I'm rather immersed in playing. Oh, what a shame! What a shame. Can I? If I do this, it shouldn't get rid of the program out of memory. If I type in 24 screen, what did we get to? 11? No, I want to put equals. 11 was it that we got to? Can we run this? No, we can't do that. Yes, we've only got line 24 because that's all we loaded in here. So let's all do... that's not going to work like that. Oh boy. There's a lot to reset this. We have to get the tape control. We have to make sure that our tape head's in the right place. Then click on this window again just to make sure, even though it probably doesn't matter. Make sure we're on tape mode. Set up the address. Oops. Yes, the keys aren't quite in the place they are on my keyboard here. E00, the memory address. Yes, you don't have to do this to do games these days, but let's do this. I mean, back in the DOS days, you had to do something a bit like this to actually load in games. But now the computer does everything for you. Unless, of course, it goes wrong. Then you have to dive into the ini files and whatever, config files and all that load of tosh. And... oops. Screen... 11 was it? Let's see. Might be quite handy to find out which line lives are on here. Because... kind of a rhythm, kind of a tune to that. Not much of one. But, yes, it would be nice to find out which... oh, great. This was level 11. Would be nice if I could find out what lives are on. So I could give myself quite a few in order to get past these things without problems. And gentler, ever so gently around the corner down here, not so fast so we crash into the floor and we'll all have a jolly good time. As long as we don't crash into the floor, that would be a mistake. It would be bad. We don't want bad things now, do we? No, we don't wish to have bad things. Of course, in doing this, our score drops down, but, yeah, that's no problem here. Screen 12, I think this is all the one we were on. Yes, the initials. And if we can't get past it this time, we might cheat to get to the other levels just to see what they are like. However, we should try and do this a little as it was intended. Oh, and that's definitely not the way it was intended to be done. AS, hey? Who was AS? And why did they hate people? No, I'm sure they were a lovely person, possibly still are. However, I am focusing on not crashing my spaceship at this current moment. So I don't have time to look up who this person was. Yes, might help going... Might have helped there going across a little bit faster than that. However, that wasn't what I was doing. I was faffing around, doing pretty much nothing of any use, of course. I was floating in space and very gently inching my way across. However, that is not what we should be doing in this current situation. Or not the current situation, the situation that was current at the time that I was doing it. I mean, here, going across ever so gently is quite a good thing to do, since you have to focus ever so much on going down and not too quickly or too slowly. And in that section, when I was trying to pay attention, I sounded rather like Torgo from Man Off the Hands of Fate, if you know of that movie. Now, if I start trying to talk about the Master and how he wouldn't like it while going down here, it might sound a bit like him. Yeah, it might sound a bit like him if I didn't crash. Oh well, never mind. Let's cheat again. So that was level 12. Let's remember that. And oh yes, all this gubbins we have to do to make sure that we are in the right place. And if you've turned off now, or even before now, I understand. However, I am determined here to get at least a look at the other screens, if not completing them correctly. Oop, that is not how you spell Stella. Yes, my recording here says I've been recording for about 23 minutes. If you had anything better to do, well, you probably wouldn't have been watching this video in the first place. So let's carry on. No, 24. Screen. Where are we? Equals 13. And if I remember correctly... run. If I remember correctly, the last level was screen 15. So we should be able to get there. Still skill level 1, as I think I've been doing pretty badly as it is on skill level 1, and I won't try to get any further. See, gravity equals 1. I'm guessing that's what the skill level pertains to. You have got to be kidding me. You seriously have to be kidding me if you think that I am going to be capable of doing such things as these. What are you trying to pull? Let me see. I don't think the Master would like it. Yes, a bit like Torgo. However, if you haven't seen that movie and you don't know of how it became famous by being a really bad movie and being featured on Mystery Science Theatre 3000. If you've never heard of Mystery Science Theatre 3000, I implore you to go out, or stay in fact inside, and look on your favourite video sharing website, and you are sure to find a Mystery Science Theatre 3000 video which you can watch and laugh along to as you watch a bad movie, but some people make it a little bit better for all of us. And surprisingly, during all that, I didn't die. Well, this is a turnip for the books, isn't it? A rather nice turnip, if I must say so myself. And I must, because I am the only one talking here. Unless, of course, you like to talk over videos, which, if you're not a part of Mystery Science Theatre 3000, then that is a bit of a strange thing to be doing, don't you think? I think so. However, it's possibly not as strange as talking over video games whilst you're trying to play them. The squiggle! Oh, fantastic! I like squiggles. Don't necessarily like flying around them, but squiggles can be good. Now let's see if it really is all that difficult or whether I'm just making it all up in my mind and prejudging, which is basically the way you judge things in the first place, isn't it? I mean, can you post-judge things? I suppose you could. I mean, but usually you judge things before they happen or whilst they're happening and you kind of retain those views. Yes, let's have a discussion about the proper usage of words whilst we're trying to land a spacecraft. Why not? I mean, surely we have nothing better to talk about. Yes. This is tricky, however, it is not undoable. If that is in fact a word. And since I like being a little bit pedantic, possibly, on words, it is indeed a word. Anything which you can say is indeed a word, in my opinion, of course. However, it may not be an officially recognised word, but if it can be said, and if it can be written, then it is indeed a word. It may not be commonly used, but still all the same, in a very basic sense, it is indeed a word. Now, as I said, I think this is the second to last level. The penultimate. Oh, that's a good word. Penultimate level here. It would be nice to actually be able to get past this and be able to view the ultimate level. Ooh. Also commonly known as the last level, or the final, or if you want to get a little bit fancy, the finale. The end. Be all and the end all. Well, the end all specifically. I could go into what the heck does the phrase be all and end all actually mean. Is it what it is? The be all? And the end all is the result of what it is? Possibly. My mind is kind of taken up with thinking of other things at the moment. I'm sure you appreciate that. But I mean, even if I don't land on this pad properly, it might... I did a good job at that level, whether I landed on that pad or not. I think so. So one last time, let's control break. Let's do the thingy what's it with the what's it thingy here. And click on that. Reset the tape head. Do the diddly what's it with the toodly wah and the bing bong bash and... Yes, I've gone a little bit strange here. I've been focusing far too much on a game, and my eyes have had red burned into them by staring at a screen. So let's have a look. Lord Stellar. Well, I'd say it was a good game, but it's not quite stellar. Laugh here if you wish. If you wish to do other things like try and find me and punch me in the face for such a bad pun, I recommend you don't do that. Laugh instead, or if you can't actually muster that up, perhaps just mutter to yourself how much of a bad joke that was. 15, let's just have a look at it. I mean, I don't need to do this, it's actually set up to be that anyway, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't need to do that. Screen 15. As I said, my brain's slightly melted at this point, so it matters not what actually goes on here. I'm pretty sure this is the last level, because I'm pretty sure it tells you it's the last level. Screen 15. And... Oh. Well, it says the micro user. I was assuming it was going to say the end or something like that. But let's try and navigate around this very fancily styled the or the, depending on how you wish to say it. And this isn't going too badly at the moment. I mean, there's nothing particularly tricky about this. I mean, the trickiest part of this is not much to indicate whether you're going up or down here. So we're going to load? Yes, we are going to load. We're going to load and we're going to navigate around this big T. And we're going to try not to do it too hastily, even though this is a little boring just travelling across the top of the T. However, we do need to slow down at this end, and so not having any momentum is going to be a good thing to be having, or whatever I'm saying. I don't really know, because I'm concentrating on doing something here on the screen, and that didn't rhyme. It doesn't matter, because that's not what I am doing here, even though it might have been what I was doing. Ah, tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky indeed. Well, I don't know. Does it carry on? If it carries on, I shall have a look at that now. If it does not carry on, I mean, there might be an easy way than doing this, but it's been a long time since I've actually had a proper BBC Micro, so I am not au fait with the exact way to be doing things. I was pretty sure just pressing break might do it. Pressing escape possibly could have just done it, but then it might have been stuck in that different screen mode. So I don't know. And one way or another, it doesn't really matter, does it? Load. Stellar. Let it count up a little bit. So we're going to see if there is a next screen. If there is, I might see if there's some other screens, but I won't waste your time trying to navigate them. If there isn't, well then that will be that, won't it? But first off, screen equals, what was it, 15, so 16. 16 gets us maybe a crash. Ooh, that'll be exciting, won't it? Well, you've seen plenty of crashes, but I mean, when I say a crash of the game. Lovely tune. Oh, there is a screen 16, huh? Well, looks like there's a screen 16, guys. What is this screen? Oh, no. Looks like there's not a screen 16, so... Thank you very much for watching. We have an out of data at line 82. Goodbye.